So our final speaker, before we have a little bit of a time for question and answer, it was going to be Ms. Leanne Wells, but she unfortunately could not join us at the last minute. She has a presentation from the Consumers Health Forum. Just so people know, Ms. Leanne Wells is the Chief Executive Officer of the Consumers Health Forum of Australia. I won't go into her bio in a lot of detail since she's not here, and on the basis of time. So Debra Letica has graciously agreed to present some of her information on some suggestions and some information from the Consumers Health Forum. So after she speaks, I'll ask the other speakers to come up, and we'll have time for some question and answer.
Just for some background on the Consumers Health Forum, it was formed from a group of community organisations who were frustrated with the absence of involvement of consumers and the community in government decision-making and a lack of action in areas of community health and safety. Has been a voice for the consumers on the National Health Policy for over 30 years, and today it is the national peak body representing the interests of Australian healthcare consumers and those with an interest in healthcare consumer affairs. The Consumer Health Forum advocates for a patient and person-centred health and social care system to work and equip consumers and those interested in working in alliances with them to help shape the system. At the CHF, they believe that the more choice and control that consumers have over their own health and care, the better the outcomes. This is a position that they continue to put forward in their responses to reviews, Productivity Commission inquiries, and their priorities for this year's federal election. It operates forums with over 260 members and have regular thought leadership roundtables involving consumers, academics, clinicians, and people in policy and government. They conducted a sentiment survey last year, and the survey found that the majority of people were very satisfied with the health system, and they visited the GP as the first point of contact and felt confident that they were able to access safe and high-quality care when needed. But, and there's always a but, there are two recurring issues, cost and uncertainty. About 20% of people skipped filling a prescription or having a recommended test or follow-up due to the cost. About 30% had difficulty navigating the system and understanding their options and care, even when the services were available. We need to get better at coordinating care, which is what we've all been talking about. We need a health system that is easier to navigate, where the people are in the middle. With 15 action plans currently on the go, we need to coordinate at a national level. So the current state. Leanne says that the current image up on the screen captures a common consumer experience of what the healthcare system feels like. These people down at the bottom are health consumers or patients that are looking up at the health system from the outside. From this position, it is a towering mountain with a single pathway through a maze of levels. There aren't a lot of signposts, and if you aren't feeling sure, you'd probably end up following the main path straight towards the hospital. Australians are still confident that they get the care that they need when they need it, but the sentiment survey also showed that people are not sure that they will be able to afford it when the time comes. The recent results of the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare Health Literacy Survey is quite illuminating. Most people surveyed felt positive about their understanding of the system, but those with a chronic disease or who are experiencing psychological distress are not that confident. This underlines a need for stronger support and better information aids for a growing cohort of patients. This is a short video.
What is the future of health? It's a place where technology and people work together.
Good morning, Diego. You slept well last night.
Where there is help when we need it.
Here is your itinerary for the day. First up, morning shower.
Where real-time data give us the information we need to take care of those we love.
And make sure we're all supported.
The future is sharing information.
Expanding our support networks. Streamlined systems. And health management plans tailored to you.
Because we're all unique.
And the best part about the future of health
Is that you're at the heart of it all.
Future of Health.
How amazing would that be? If we could recognise and react to a person when the need arises, the outcomes for both the patient and the system would be very different. As we saw in the video, a proactive approach supported by technology can really smooth the patient journey through the health system. The changes don't need to cost a fortune, but they can save us a fortune in the long run. So what's the future state of the focus on? Shifting our approach from illness to wellness and keeping people healthy, delivering high-value care, something we're really starting to see with campaigns like Choosing Wisely and the new MBS items. But we can go much further by integrating our systems, collecting data sets and measuring patient experiences so the systems are designed around the patient experience and service offerings are determined by local needs and preferences. Health organisations are driven by empowered consumers who are involved at every level of strategy setting and decision making. The system drives innovation, and the way we fund and deliver healthcare into the 21st century will increasingly wield our consumer choice to determine how services are delivered. And we hear more and more that consumers expect technology to improve their experiences. These kinds of changes means that people feel they offer more information to providers and also take access information that allows them to act with agency, exercise choice and control. As partners, shared decision makers, active managers of their own health care. To realise this vision, there will need to be some shifts in the way our primary healthcare system is structured. A complete overhaul is unlikely in the near future, so we need to focus on the levers that we can pull today. We need to remove the barriers of the system. The RACP has something called the third space, where care providers are asked to consider more options for delivering care outside the hospital settings. These could be physical places like community-based clinics, residential aged care, primary care places, or virtual or patients' homes, or virtual spaces such as telehealth, digital platforms, and the Kelly healthcare home trials, which aim to shift general practice away from time-based fee-for-service funding models towards a more flexible arrangement that focus on the healthcare team. So I'll just move forward just to speed up this a little bit. We want to see agreements across federal, regional and local levels to improve the connections between these services and smooth out the gaps we currently see that are caused by separating responsibilities and priorities across governance levels. It is important for all these levels to start working together and talking to each other, national funding, regional commission and local service delivery, to make sure the money is targeting the right areas and the responsibility for good outcomes is shared. The health system is one of those things that people don't know much about until they need to. So once they start using it more and more, they find it to become confusing and difficult to navigate. Often they feel that the process and policies are so ingrained that their care happens to them without understanding why things need to be done in a certain way. I myself mentioned how surprising it is that our health system isn't more integrated. We know system change can be slow, and often this is necessary to make us get it right. But in the meantime, what if we did have a workforce dedicated to make the system, the social supports, or making specific conditions or needs more understandable for people? But we know there are lots of people thinking outside the box and really driving innovation and projects in their local areas. But on a bigger scale, How do we steward this movement and start building the system around people as managers of their own health? Some suggestions that came through a roundtable at the Consumers Health Forum ran on primary and integrated care last year, a major demonstration project to empower consumers with complex chronic diseases, individual funding packages similar to the NDIS that gives consumers more choice and control than the current chronic disease management plans, allows them to retain choice of a care provider. A consumer enablement portal to bring together a broad range of high-quality consumer literacy, self-management, decision-making tools, and information resources. So let's all lead into the future and remove those silos. Thank you.